Hello everyone! Hello, and welcome back to this little workshop. My name is Savvy, and today I will teach you how you can feminize your voice, or how you can masculinize your voice, or even make it sound androgynous. Whatever your vocal goals are, I will here today give you some methodology, some exercises, and a little bit of an overview on how voice functions and how we can modify it. So let's get started with the basics. First of all, some health disclaimer. When we practice our voice, we practice a muscle that, well, it's not just muscle, it's a bit more complex than that, but very simplified. We have little flaps in our throat that vibrate, and they like to be hydrated. If they do not have any hydration, they're going to be dry, rub against each other dry, and create potentially nodules and some vocal damage in the future. So if you want to avoid that, be sure to drink water at least 10 to 15 minutes before doing any work on your voice. That is because, as I mentioned before, if you're not hydrated 10 to 15 minutes before, the water has no way to reach your vocal folds in time. That is because the vocal folds are down the windpipe. Thankfully, the water does not go the windpipe most of the time. So maybe it's a skill issue on my end, but who knows? But anyways, the blood flow will be providing the hydration and the nutriments that the vocal folds require to regenerate and to be used properly. So another thing that I should mention is certain medications such as hay fever medication, spironolactone, and other ones perhaps that you might be taking can be responsible for making your voice a little bit dry, because it makes your body generally drier due to how they affect your body. And so you want to maybe try and avoid taking the medication at the same time as you practice your voice. So if possible, if you can take the medication in the evening before sleep, try to do so it will not impact your voice work, because when you're sleeping, I don't think your voice work, maybe in your mind, but not vocally directly. So be sure to try and avoid doing both at the same time. If you must take them at strict times, try to work around it. And if you take the medication in the morning, consider practicing your voice in the evening, or vice versa. Okay, another thing that's really important is vocal warm-up. I did mention it's partially muscle when it comes to voice, so we have to treat it as such. It requires some warm-up as well, so you're not going to go run the marathon and not stretch your legs. You're not going to last really long. The same goes for your voice. We'll be doing some of these warm-ups in a little bit, but before we do, let me tell you a bit about what is voice and how it functions. On the board behind me, you can see the power source filter model. Very simply, it describes voice into three different main categories. First of all, we have power, which is how much air we can provide to our voice. That air will then move up the windpipe, the trachea, and reach this box here, where you see the word source. And this box is called the voice box. We also call this the larynx in a more scientific term. Now within the larynx, you will find little flaps that vibrate, and these are called the vocal folds. You might have heard them be called vocal cords before, but this is what it refers to. So these little flaps will vibrate thanks to the air that comes from below. They will vibrate upwards like this, and as they do, they'll vibrate, open and close a few hundred times per second for most voices that are like in an average range, and you get a source sound, which is creating pitch. And so that voice will then move up and resonate and bounce around in this space, which we call the vocal tract. Now, the vocal tract can be really small, or it can be really big. And this is what allows us to modify the big gender perception of our voice. Achieve a smaller space, and you mimic a vocal tract that was not affected by testosterone. Achieve a bigger vocal tract, and you mimic a vocal tract that was exposed to testosterone. So why do I mention so much testosterone? Well, that is because I want to talk about what we exactly want to do with voice. There is a lot of things that are encoded in terms of gender socially. Some things are just constructed by our society. But other things, such as biology, we generally tend to fall in kind of a spectrum that is determined with testosterone. So testosterone exposure, mind you, you don't have to be AFAB, AMAB, or intersex or anything else to have exactly that precise exposure to testosterone. We're not equal to this. So you could be AFAB and have a lot of testosterone that affected your voice. You could be AMAB and have very little testosterone that affected your voice. So it really depends. But in most cases, masculine voices tend to showcase that exposure to testosterone, whereas femme voices tend to showcase that lack of exposure. And so this generally is shown by how big the vocal tract gets. But more specifically, there's 3 things that happen when testosterone affects our voice. The first thing that happens is that the vocal tract, which is really small because the larynx is really high, the vocal tract becomes really big as testosterone affects it, which gives us a really big space, which makes my voice sound really wide, really cavernous, really hollow. The second thing that happens is the vocal folds, which are vibrating really fast, producing a high pitch, they end up becoming longer due to exposure to testosterone. And by becoming longer, they can produce lower pitches. Now, with those lower pitches, you get mostly a masc voice. But there's a third thing that testosterone does, which it does across the entirety of our body, which is increase muscle mass, increase muscle growth. And that will generally translate itself by achieving a much thicker, much more buzzy voice. And this is how you achieve a really masc voice, just like so. And if you want to feminize your voice, you have to reverse all of these 3 components. You might have a different starting point than me. So, making your voice softer, making your voice higher in pitch, and making your voice smaller, brighter is something that might depend on what your starting point is. So there you have it. That's how voice functions, or at least that is how we perceive gender perception, how we perceive gender in voice, in terms of how small the vocal tract is to have a feminine voice, how big a vocal tract is to have a masculine voice, how thick the vocal folds are, which generally tends to sound more masculine in context with a bigger vocal tract, and the pitch. You kind of probably already knew about this, but most femme voices tend to be at higher pitches, and most masc voices tend to be at lower pitches. All right, now let's talk warm-up. As I did mention before, we are not going to want to do any voice work if we don't warm up. So please, you're allowed here to unmute your microphones, and we'll try to do a warm-up together. I go first, then count to 3, and then we do it all together. Let's try this out. I go first. Oh. And we'd all try together in 3, 2, 1. Oh. Very good. Now I'm going to do a different one. Let's do Z as in the word zoo. I go first. And we try this in 3, 2, 1. Very good. Let's try a last one. This time it's going to be a lip trill where we bubble our lips. I go first. Let's try this all together in 3, 2, 1. All right. Just on time. Very good. Woo. You all did it really well. Now your voice is mostly warmed up. You might want to keep doing this on your own, but for now, be sure to mute your mics again because we'll be moving to the next part of the workshop. Usually, for those that are new here, I get 2 people up on stage who want to feminize their voices and 2 people up on stage who want to masculinize their voices. So last time we didn't get a lot of masc voice, so we're going to start today with masc voice users. If you want to move up on stage to make your voice sound more masculine, please raise your hand, jump in place, or use the hand emoji. All right, do we have anyone interested in masc voice? I guess I did all the masc voice people. Finally run out. Okay, maybe we'll start with femme voice then today. So let's do femme voice. All right, I see you raise the hand really quickly. Stress Conductive, come up on stage. Come on, come on, come on. Everyone give a big round of applause to Stress Conductive. Woo! All right, welcome. Hi.
Hello.
Hello. All right, we got some time. Setting a timer so I don't lose track. Okay. All right. Stress conductive. What do I call you?
You can just call me Stress.
All right, just stress. No stress on stage, of course. I mean, you are allowed.
Exactly. Of course. Of course.
Yeah, zero stress. Okay, so first time in one of these workshops?
I attended the one before, but
Okay,
that's about it.
awesome. So, have you been able to do some practice on your own? Maybe try to mimic some exercises along? Do you have a voice in progress, or do you feel like you're really beginning and you want to do things from scratch?
I'm really beginning. I've tried, but I just don't really know what I'm doing at all. So
All right, then let's get you to know. Let's get you to know what you're doing. So, first of all, I want to see what your pitch range is like. Can you give me a slide from your lowest pitch up to your highest pitch? Give it a
all right.
try.
I guess
Ooh.
that's it.
C sharp 5, really good. You have quite some range, more than enough to have a femme voice in. Awesome. Next thing we want to do is practice some whisper exercises. Why whispers? Well, whispers do not have the phonation happening. That means the vocal folds are not vibrating. I gotta move around. Oh, hello. Do you still hear me? Oh,
Yeah.
I think I am glitching out. I don't know what's happening. Well, I'm not going to do hand signs today. Okay, so anyways, whisper exercises are very useful because they allow you to hear what your resonance is like. By resonance, I mean how big or how small your vocal tract is, right? So have a really small vocal tract, you get a really bright sound. We quite literally put emphasis on the higher frequencies, whereas with a bigger vocal tract, we put an emphasis on lower frequencies, kind of like a low pass filter versus a high pass filter in a sense. And so we were going to try to do a whisper. So I want you to try and mimic after me. Let's do a dark whisper on the sentence, pat that cat. As such,
Pat that cat.
give it a try.
Pat that cat.
Very good. Very dark.
Pat that cat.
Now we're going to try to brighten it. As you do this, you can put your hand on your neck, just rest it gently there, and try to find the bump on your neck. Very good.
Pat that cat.
And now you're going to scale the pat brighter. So,
Pat.
pat, 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 pat that cat. Give it a try.
Pat. 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 Pat that cat.
Very good. Pat that cat. Now you've produced a much brighter whisper, as opposed to a bigger, darker one.
Pat that cat.
Pat that cat. By the way, did your hand notice anything on your neck moving?
Yeah, it went up.
That's awesome. As it goes up, the average size reduces. And because it reduces, you get that brighter sound, right? A smaller vocal tract, as if testosterone never affected your voice. Okay? So that's that cat. Now the next point, or the next thing we're going to want to do is to bridge from that whisper into a full voice. So we're going to go whisper, breathy, and full voice. So it's going to sound something like this. Pat that cat. Pat that cat. Give it a try. Go back to the bright
All right.
pat. Pat, pat, pat.
Pat. Pat. Pat. Pat.
That's very good. And then from here, pat that cat.
Pat that cat.
Okay, pat that cat. All right, that's pretty good. Now, a voice might be a little bit too thick. That means that you have too much vocal fold mass that is kind of an artifact coming from your masc voice, right? So, pat that cat makes sense with a bigger, lower pitch. But at higher pitches, pat that cat, it makes your voice sound kind of buzzy. So you're going to try and want to make that voice softer from pat that cat to pat that cat. Give it a try.
Okay.
Go back to the pat that cat you just did.
Pat that cat, and then I like just try
Right?
to.
It's okay. We'll do this together.
Yeah.
So, pat that cat. Okay, so right now we have this kind of voice quality, right? It's because of vocal fold mass, right? As I mentioned before, 3 things define a masc voice or a femme voice. In the case of a femme voice, you want something that's small. You've achieved it because it sounds really bright. You want something that's high in pitch. We are at F sharp 3, so it can be both masc or femme, so it's a pretty good pitch to practice at. Pat that cat around F3 here. But the vocal fold mass is going to determine how much energy you put in that voice, right? Quite literally, it's going to be how thick the vocal folds are when they vibrate. If you want to have a look at this, there we go. Do let me know when this slide has loaded for you.
It has loaded.
So right now, if you do something like, pat that cat, your vocal folds are quite literally employing more muscle, right? More muscle is engaged, right? We're not erasing or creating muscle, by the way. We're changing weight. We're not really even changing weight physically. We're really only flexing those muscles more or less, to oversimplify. And our goal will be to go from pat that cat to pat that cat, right? To go for a softer sound, okay? To do this, we can try to first find that softness in your masc voice, for example. Can you just say pat that cat in your current voice?
Pat that cat.
All right, so you're here. I'm just gonna mimic, right? So, pat that cat, right? So pretty dark, pretty low pitch, and quite a thick voice. Pat that cat. All right. So from here, you're gonna try to go from pat that cat to pat that cat. Same voice, just a lot softer. All right, give it a try.
Pat. Is it like more of a whisper? Like not as much of a whisper, but close to it, or?
Not a whisper, it's just that you're going to basically push less air, right? So by pushing less air, you're going to motivate the vocal folds to become thinner, or maybe your voice will break. We'll see. Something else we can try is, I want you to give me a big breath of air, like a right? All of the air comes out all at once, right? If you were to use a voice here, you'd probably get something like like a really strong like a lot of air at once with the vocal folds. We're going to try to lower that to make that not, but instead more of a very slow whisper. Can you try this? Uh-oh, did you crash? Please tell me you didn't crash. Oh, we might have a crash. Oh no. Where's timing too? All right. Things happen. So, all right. I guess we're going to move on to the next person then. All right. So, do we have anyone interested in making their voices more masculine? Maybe? Oh, you turned around because you didn't want to? No masc voice users. No one wants to sound masc. Or, okay, maybe androgynous?
Anyone wants to make their voices masculine or perhaps androgynous in any way, shape, or form?
No? You might? Have you already been on stage, Danielle?
No.
All right, come up on
Can you
stage.
hear me?
Come. Yes, I can. Come on stage. Come on, give a big round of applause to Danielle. Yay! Thank you for representing the masc voice a little bit. All right. Represent. We got a timer set up. Starting now. Okay. Danielle, is this the first time in one of these workshops for you?
No. But I haven't been on stage. You haven't done this.
Oh. Okay, then let's see. If you've been around a little bit, have you been able to practice your voice a little bit? Are you at some point that you like, or still beginning, what you would say?
Maybe a little bit, but I don't know. I think it sounds weird.
Maybe a little bit.
I can't.
Oh,
I can't be very loud, you know, if I make my voice low, like no one would be able to hear me.
Oh, interesting. Okay, can we first check something really quick with your voice settings? Can you make sure that your noise suppression is turned off in the audio settings? So just like the quick sound menu, and then under microphone you will find voice suppression.
Oh, turn it on?
Turn it off. Off.
Oh, it's off. It's off.
Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, let's try this. Give me a slide from your highest pitch down to your lowest pitch. Give it a try. Oh. Okay, what's the pitch here? All right, can you hold it a bit? Oh. All right, it's quite creaky. Let's go slightly higher.
I know.
Oh. What are my arms doing? Whoa! Okay. Control yourself. Nope. Okay, I guess not. So, okay. And what about darkness and making your voice, well, darker? Have you been able to practice a bit with those whispers?
Just in the last exercise. I mean, I think I talked.
Okay.
Like, what do you want me to say? The cat.
All right, let's try this. Yes. Give me a bright whisper on pat that cat. So, pat that cat.
Pat that cat.
All right, very good. Now, pat, 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 pat that cat.
Pat, 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 cat.
All right, very good. Now I have a really dark pat. I want you to bridge that to your lowest pitch. Pat that cat. Give it a try.
The cat. I don't know.
All right, no worries. All right, lots of throat clearing here. Do you have any mucus? Perhaps did you drink some water before
No,
doing this?
I'm just. Not really. No.
Okay, you should drink water before doing practice. It's a pretty good idea. Okay, that's fine. Now let's get some text for us to practice with. There we go. All right. Now let's go again for that dark pat that cat. Pat that cat. Okay. Pat that cat. Awesome. And now try to whisper the sentence. That mad brat sat on that flat mat. That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
I said fat.
It's okay, it happens. Flat. Okay? Flat mat. Very good. Now I want you to try and bridge against that low pitch. That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Oh, that mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Okay, interesting. That mad brat sat on that flat mat. What you got here is subharmonics. That's very interesting. Subharmonics is when your vocal folds kind of do a form of chaotic vibration when they lean more on the closer side, or they are more close. That mad brat sat on that flat mat. Okay, so what you might want to do here is push a bit more air to to go back to something more like proper phonation. So by adding more air, like as if you're going from a to a. Okay. Try it out.
What do you mean?
Okay, maybe try to tap it, like gold taps. Okay, that's getting better. See? Okay, so now we're getting a fuller sound. But we're still like pretty like small size. So we're gonna try to go bigger. Pat, 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 pat. Oh. Try again.
Oh.
All right, very good. Pat, 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 pat. Awesome. Now with that sound, oh, that mad brat sat on that flat mat.
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Okay, very good. Careful not to let it trail back up. That mad brat sat on that mat. It kind of went brighter than what you had initially. So, okay, that might be a bit of an issue. So what we're gonna try here is to yawn. Okay, do you know how to yawn? We all know how to yawn. Oh, we all know how to be tired in the EP. Yeah, but like we're gonna try and yawn as low as we can. As low as you can in pitch, and then try to hold that note. Give it a try. Okay, very good. Ooh, and then from here, can you make that into an ah? Ooh, ah, that mad brat.
Oh, that mad brat.
Careful, your oh here was brighter. So yawn on an ah sound. So ah, like you're an opera singer.
Oh.
Not quite. Remember how you yawned? Oh. Again?
Oh.
All right, very good. Oh, and then oh, that mad brat. Keeping that same position.
Oh, that flat mat.
Okay, that's better. That flat mat, it's okay. Not the right word, but that's all right.
Whatever you said.
So, yes. So,
I was gonna say fat brat.
I don't know if that's better, to be honest. Maybe I should change the words. Oh no. But anyways, when you make your voice darker, do you track it with your hand on your neck? Like, can you feel for how low or how high your larynx is?
I think so.
You think so?
If I put
Sometimes?
my hands on it. Yeah.
Maybe is the bump like rather prominent or not so much?
There is a bump there. Yeah.
Okay, very good. Now when you have a really bright pat, 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 have your hand on there, pat, pat. You can feel for the really high position. Okay,
Yeah.
try it out. And now, pat, 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 pat. Make it dark and try to feel for how low it gets. Okay? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you
yeah,
feel
I
how
got
low
a
it
little-
went?
Yeah, I
Awesome.
got a little
Try
bit
to make it as low as you can without hurting your voice. It should still be easy to produce that whisper. But that cut. Okay? Awesome. And now I want you to really focus on that position so you don't let it shoot back up, right? Because your behavior makes it so that, well, your habit, will bring you back to the femme voice behavior, right? You're used to speak up here, or like maybe not that high, but you're used to speaking with like a smaller vocal tract, right? Now you're not used to speaking with a bigger vocal tract, so you're more likely to eventually, over time, let your Adam's apple move back up and get a brighter sound again, right? So this is something that you really want to be tracking. I really do recommend recording your voice, listening back to it, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So, yeah, that's the practice that you want to be doing. So we did get something quite dark and quite masc, but it didn't last for too long, right? So it's a matter of practicing and getting the consistency down. Okay?
Cool, thanks.
All right. You're very welcome. Everyone give a big round of applause to Daniel. Woo! Okay, so next up we'll have someone who wants to practice their femme voice. Jump in place, raise your hand. All right, you are here in the front. Oh god, there's so many femme voice. All right, Agura Toasty, hop on stage. Come on, come on. Oh, are you okay? All right. Everyone give a big round of applause to Agura. Woo! Hello there.
Oh,
Hello. Oh, wow. What a voice. Timer set up. Let's get started. So, Agura, is this one of the first times you've been on VRChat or nah? VRChat on this
or
world.
here?
Sorry, I'm tired. Yes, on this world.
I think third time.
All right, awesome. So, I already hear quite some interesting things about your voice. Where would you say you're at? And if you're moving up on stage here, what would you like to work on specifically?
I don't really know.
I don't really know. That's kind of where your voice is at, right? So I think it's like a rather bright voice. It's maybe like using more like lower pitches, like kind of like down here. But it's still a femme voice. I think you're pretty much there. So if you just needed to hear that your voice can sound femme, yes, it does. Maybe your voice might break some points at sometimes. So let's try and see if we get your voice to break or to work. How about you give a read to this very first sentence up here?
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Okay. That mad brat sat on that flat mat. What's the pitch here? Da. It's quite low in pitch, and it's showcasing a bit of buzziness. I think you might still have a little bit too thick of a voice. That mad brat sat on that flat mat. So let's try to soften that from Try to make your voice softer. Give it a try. You did go softer, but I hear this. There's that inherent breathiness. There's air leaking through the vocal folds, right? Let's compare the two. This is your version. This is the version without breathiness. Right? So you can modulate how much air you push. Very similar to what was happening on stage with stress conductive. I'll answer some of your questions later, by the way, because you got cut off by Crash. So in your case here, you're going to want to do a similar thing, where you want to lower how much air you push, right? So try to get a really quiet airflow, like something really, really quiet, like a really silent whisper. Can you try this out? Very good. And now with that silent whisper, I want you to set up some voice. Something like... Give it a try. Okay, very good. And try to hold that sound. All right. Try to say pat with this. Pat.
Pat.
Okay, so that's a lot softer, and because you're using a really quiet whisper, you're not pushing as much air anymore. So with that same quality, pat, we're gonna try to read that mad brat sat on that flat mat. Really quiet, really gentle. Give it a try.
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
Now that's better, but it's still a little too thick still. That mad brat sat on that flat mat. To be honest, it's a D-sharp 3, so the pitch is quite low. Generally, I avoid going too low in pitch when first practicing the voice for a very simple reason. That is because there is a clear overlap between lower femme voice pitches and masc voice pitches. I mean, there's like no precise femme range or precise masc range, but we tend to find these pitches like D-sharp 3, D3, C3, and C-sharp 3 and below, both in the masc voice and the femme voice, but less present in femme voices generally. So chances are you might have old habits from your masc voice kind of making your voice thicker as a result. Right? Maybe you
Spoke at this pitch and had like quite a thick voice, right?
and then you made the voice more thin, but like we still have a bit of that artifacting from that thicker voice from before, right? So we can try to go to a higher pitch and really find that thinness up there. It's much more easy to find thinner voices up there. So try this out. Match my pitch. Ah. Let's go slightly higher. Ah. Good. Let's hold it here. Ah. Very good. Now let's make it as quiet as possible from ah to ah, like this. Ah, really soft voice. Interesting. So this is what happens. You actually make your vocal folds thinner, yes, but there's still too much air. So you want to learn to lower your airflow dynamically. So let's try this. Give me a big breath of air. Give me a quiet breath of air. Almost inaudible. Okay, the fact that I heard very little of it and that it got cut off tells me that it was probably very quiet. And now you're going to want to do lower your airflow from that strong one. You might want to disable noise suppression so I can better hear what you're doing. So to sound settings, noise suppression, and also put the mic activation threshold all the way down to 0% if you haven't already. Okay. Oh. Very good. And now okay, now let's close the vocal folds some more. Let's try to do this creaky sound. Careful because you're saying instead of ah. You are nasalizing the sound. Say pat pat pat. Ah. Very good. Now, that mad brat sat on that flat mat.
That mad brat sat on that flat mat.
That's awesome. It still sustains a little bit of that vocal folds mass, but much less than before. You went from that mad brat sat on that flat mat to that mad rat sat on that flat mat, night and day, right? But that's not the end of it, right? Because we are at F3. You usually speak lower in pitch, around D3, D sharp 3, which is fine if you want to go for a lower fem voice. But the vocal fold mass needs to be thinner, because if I'm speaking at really low pitches for my fem voice, if I dare make my voice slightly thicker, if only just a little, it's very quickly going to sound masculine or androgynous or cartoonish, right? So generally this is why you want to be really careful with lower pitches. So learning to modulate your airflow, learning to modulate your closure, so how well you close the vocal folds to avoid breathiness, and how you can relax your voice to get thinner vocal folds, to get less muscles involved in the vocal process, will get you a long way towards reaching the fem voice that you want. Given that's what you want, of course, but most fem voices tend to be on the softer side. Other than that, you have a really, really solid bass. You have a really bright voice. You are doing pretty well in the pitch department. Like, you're not crazy low. I would avoid anything perhaps below A2. Even B2 is a bit iffy, so anything in the second octave is a bit dangerous in terms of it can really trip your voice up. But other than that, you did really great. So keep up the practice on softening your voice, regulate your airflow, and you should be all good. All right. I hope that helped you out. Hope to see you around in one of these workshops again. Everyone give a big round of applause to Ogura! Woo! All right. Next and last person on stage. Do we have anyone who wants to make their voices sound more masculine? Anyone new came into here? I don't think I see someone new. If you want, raise your hand, jump in place, or use the hand emoji. If you want to make your voice more masculine. No? All right. Femme voice it is. All right. You're right in the front. Luna the Snow Fox. You've not been on stage before, have you? Nope.
No.
All right. Welcome on stage. Everyone give a big round
Hello.
of applause to Luna. Woo! Of course, she got a furry on stage. I mean, look at my ears. What did you expect? All right. Luna, welcome on stage. Hi.
Hi.
All right. First time in one of these workshops or first time on stage only?
I was there last week, but didn't really partake in it because could not speak.
All right. Awesome. So you couldn't speak because you were sick or just because it wasn't like the right time, whatever?
Not the right time.
Okay, gotcha. This is the right time, so let's go. First of all, I want to hear a slide from your lowest pitch up to your highest pitch. Give it a try.
Oh.
Oh, B3. What happens if you go higher?
I either get a stroke or just I basically just get a stroke.
You can't get a stroke by doing that. Don't worry. Just take it easy. Maybe your voice breaks. Something maybe like, oh. Does this ever happen to you?
No, not really. Well, I can do that by force, but no, not really anymore.
By force. Okay. What if you make your voice extremely quiet? Can you give me not a oh, but a oh. There you go. Oh. And now take that down. Oh. And now back up. Oh. There you go. You have range and you didn't get a stroke. See, you're doing just fine, Lena. So anyways. Oh. All right. Now let's do the follow-up. We're going to get your voice to be brighter. I want you to say, pat that cat on a dark whisper. Something like, pat that cat. Give it a try.
Pat that cat.
Now try to repeat that on the whisper. Imagine you want to be really quiet. Hush, shh, pat that cat. You don't want to wake it up. Pat that cat.
Pet.
Very good. Awesome. And then you want to make that pat brighter. So, pat, 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 pat that cat. Try it out. All right, so I heard pat, 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 pat. It didn't change too much. Imagine that you want to track it like you do with pitch. Ta, 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 ta. Only this time the melody is with a whisper. Ta, 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 ta. Right? Let's try this again. Pat. Make it really dark, like your Darth Vader. Pat that cat.
Pat.
Careful.
If I go
Still whisper.
pat. No. Pat.
Pat, pat. Yes,
Pat.
the whisper. Stay in a whisper. Yes, very good. Make it really dark. Oh, really big. As if you were just yawning. Pat that cat. Okay, can I hear it a few times? Okay, so yours is here. Pat, pat, pat. It's kind of like in the medium range, right? Pat, pat, pat. Okay? And you want to try this. Pat, 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 pat. To go really small and really bright. There you go. Careful, because you're getting like a lot of. It's moving a bit up and down and up and down. I have a question, by the way. Do you do? Have you done any singing or have you done any music before? Are you familiar with like music theory?
Not much. School basic stuff, like basically.
Okay, that's fair. That's fine. All right, very good. Another thing I want you to do is to put your hand on your neck very gently. Don't press down. Just try to find the bump on your neck. Did you find it? Awesome. I want you to do that dark pat again. All right, very good. And I want you to climb back up to the bright one. Very good. Did you feel anything happening there?
Not really.
Not really? There's a very small change that I'm hearing. So unfortunately, we are not having a lot of modulation here. Let's try a different thing. I want you to mimic after me. Right, we're here. Very good. Now I want you to try to take that same pitch, but do the yawn version of it from to
Oh.
like now yawn. Try a yawn. You don't need to start as high as do.
Yeah, that's the problem. Whenever I yawn, I do extremely high pitch.
That's okay. Do you never go down?
No, mostly my yawn just sounds like a yipping or something.
I mean, that's very interesting. I never heard the yip yawn before. Yip yawn! I don't know.
I mean, I say yip, but it's more like yip.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so we're not getting yawns. We're not getting whispers. Let's try a different one now. Let's do a creak. Do you know how to do this sound? Try this. As low as you can. As low as you can. There you go. That sound here. Right? That's very close to a creak. Now try to get it even quieter and push even less air from a to a. Okay, no, don't breathe in. What are you doing? We're getting zombies in here. Brains. Okay. Question, were you breathing in when you were doing the creak here, or?
No, I don't think so.
You are full of surprises. I've never heard so many strange vocals happening. I mean, you should become a beatboxer. Maybe, who knows?
Who knows?
But okay. Alright. Okay, let's just focus.
Oh.
Good. Careful, you're not going down. No. Alright. It's okay. Let's just find that creek we found before. That relaxed creek.
Fucking hell.
Alright. It's okay.
Where's my water at?
Oh, are you okay? Oh, getting water? Good idea. Okay. All good?
Yep.
Did you have any water before coming up on stage, by the way?
Yep.
All good, all good. Okay, so I can tell you're like very fidgety.
I do have ADHD.
That does make things a bit tricky. Okay. how to get your attention here. Okay. So no yawns because it's a yip. No creak. Okay. Let's try a different one. I want you to say the word cat, cats. Just on a whisper, like cat, like you're pushing air out. Cat,
Kids.
cats. Okay? I want you to make the ah drawn longer. Cat. Not stronger. Yes. Cat. Again. Very good. Careful because you're getting a whistle here. Cat. It's probably a sign that you're constricting something. Try to make that whisper much quieter. Not a cat, but instead a cat. Very good. Now try to play around with that. Cat, 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 cat. Try this again. Cat, 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 cat. You can do this. Okay. Cat. Going up this time. Okay, careful because you're saying cat instead of cat. It is indeed brighter, but it is going a bit too close to like a different vowel sound. The whole point here of doing that ah sound, ka, 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 is to keep your tongue in a neutral position so you can really explore that brightness. But let's be honest, like you did say you have ADHD, you're fidgeting a lot. So I feel like maybe the stage is not the best place and like time for you to practice. So I'm just going to give you this advice. We have those different exercises we can do. The yawn doesn't seem to work, but I don't think you should be giving up on the practice of those whispers. Try practicing these on your own, you know, like try to find a melody, you know. Do you know how to like, okay, you know the Super Mario theme, like da 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 da, right?
Yeah.
Right? You can sing it, right? Very easy. Have you tried doing it with whispers? God. Right? Did you recognize it?
Yeah.
All right. If you can recognize it in the whisper, you can try this too. The whole point is to kind of translate a melody from da 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 to ka. Okay? But that's something for you to practice on your own time, in your own privacy. I do recommend that you record yourself and listen back to your voice so you can make some meaningful changes and build up a feedback loop. Listen to your sound. Don't like the sound? What went wrong? Fix what went wrong. Record again, try again, and then repeat. Okay? All right. You were really brave to move on stage. Best of luck with your practice. I hope to see you around again. Everyone, give a big round of applause to Luna the Snow Fox. Woo! Pew, 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 pew. Okay. So, seems like we are on time for once. Whew, we're not after the hour. So I'm going to be answering 2 questions from Discord or Twitch. What questions do we have today?
Well, I have one. Now I have 2 on Discord.
Oh, wow. All right.
First one, are there, from Sophie, are there specific exercises that can help expand your vocal range upwards? I'm practicing pitch, but I reach the point where my voice cracks pretty quickly.
Okay, so I would definitely recommend doing some softies. SOVTE. It stands for semi-occluded vocal tract exercises. You could just call them warm-ups. It's the sound we've done at the very start. Oh, lips rounded in the front. It helps a little bit with creating pressure in our mouth, but it's not a great pressure. The Z sound has a lot more pressure. You have your tongue and your teeth in the way. What happens is you create a pressure in your mouth, which then counteracts the pressure of your lungs, mostly. And so that can help the vocal folds vibrate in an environment that has less pressure. This can help you go for higher pitches, lower pitches, whatever your range extension might be going towards. I assume it will be higher pitches. the main thing you want to keep in mind is always try to go really soft at first and then build up loudness over time once you get more accurate at those higher pitches and more comfortable with those. So just like do slides or scales, you can do something like lip trill as well. Something like and this up to infinity. I mean, as high as you want to practice it. So this is the advice I have for you. Try slides with the brr sound of the lip trill. You can also try to have straw and water. That can also be a good way to practice. So yes, I hope that answers your question. All right, what's the second question then?
Well, I got I got rapid fire ones, but I think many of them were
Yes.
answered by that answer.
Okay.
So how often should people practice?
As often as you can and as you want. I know some people struggle to practice because of dysphoria, because the time is limited. I have students who practice in their car, who practice on the walk, who practice with friends that are safe with, who practice only really late at night because no one is awake. So, you know, it's always a bit difficult, right? Because our voice is not just our voice, it's part of our identity, right? I hope people can learn to dissociate it a bit because, you know, there's like a bunch of cartoonish voices we can all do that are not necessarily like who we are, just a part of our voice that we can use. So, when it comes to, I'm going a bit too far with this, but when it comes to like how often to practice, I would say you can, honestly, like everyone has their own ways of practicing. I know I practice like 1 hour at a time every day, but it's not super feasible. And also, I tend to think that doing smaller practice sessions, but more split across the day, like a little bit in the morning, a little bit in the afternoon, and a little bit in the evening is a good way to remember and remind your brain that, hey, you got to practice your voice. You get more confident, you get more reliable, you get more precise with the things you're trying to practice, right? Whether it is pitch, whether it is brightness, darkness, resonance, whether it is vocal weight. So it's important to like try and spread that across the day so it can create kind of reminders. Think of the voice like a jungle, right? You can cut through the grass once, it's really dense, it's really hard, but you might reach your objective. Now, if you don't do it anymore, the vegetation is going to grow back. You gotta machete it through again. But if you machete it once and then just walk that path every day, trust me, those plants are not gonna grow on the path, at least not as much. And so it's gonna be easier for you to access that voice. So more often, but less time is a good idea. I kind of think a mix of both is a good thing to do because you kind of like do across the day like little things to kind of like work on things that you've worked during the workshop, or maybe doing like the hour you've practiced your voice before. So it can be good sometimes also sit down for somewhat of a long time, maybe 15-20 minutes. Just sit yourself down, like record your voice, look at a pitch monitor, try to track your pitch, try to listen to your voice, listen back to the recordings, etc., to make some meaningful progress, or at least to kind of sit down and have a more focused time, right? So focused versus more like flow practice. I think both are good. They both have their benefits. So this is how you should practice, in my opinion. Okay. So, do you have any questions from Twitch, by the way? No questions from Twitch today? Nope. Okay, no worries. All right. Stress conductive, you're still here. Can you come closer?
Hello. Yes.
Thank you. I'm not going to have you be up on stage again, but I just want to like finish on what we finished on. The advice I gave before to, I think it's Ogura exactly, applies very much to you, right? So if you want to get your voice to that spot where it's a lot softer, that's a good way to go, right? Reducing your airflow. All right. So try to play with your breath all at once. That's all your lungs empty. Very slow and very long. That's you regulating your airflow, how much you're pushing air out. And the less you can push air out, the softer your voice is more likely to be. So that's something for you to work on at. And also practice with the brightness exercise and try practicing at a pitch like F3 and above. This is where you're going to hear most of the feminizing effects on your voice. Okay? All right.
Alright.
Hope that helps. All right. So I guess we are about done here. So I'll be wrapping this workshop up. So hey, if you like this, I have a Discord server called Scientifically Augmented Voice, where I do public lessons over there and private lessons, but they're in a private channel, so whatever. You can message me at Discord at savvy_sav if you want to schedule or book a private lesson or a public lesson. They're not in vrchat, they're like more like Discord sessions. So if you want to have like a one-on-one time for an hour, you can do so. It will allow us to work more precisely and more deeply in your voice and without the whole audience here. If you want to join the Discord, you can just click on my username in vrchat and there's a link that brings you there. So if you want, there's like a whole community over there of people working on their voices. So you can also do some voice work over there if you so want. All right. Of course, there's the hashtag voice training channel in the Trans Academy Discord. If you're not in there, what are you doing? Join the Discord. Jessa and I answer some questions here from time to time. We try to do our best to get to all of you. So yeah, that is pretty much it. I'm gonna now end this workshop. Thank you all for listening today. I'll be back on Sunday, next Sunday, as every Sunday. My name is Savvy. I teach voice feminization,
Voice masculinization.
voice acting, singing, and also things such as human beatboxing with sounds such as. So if you want to learn any of this, you can always shoot me a message on Discord at savvy_sav. And other than that, I'll be seeing all of you beautiful faces in the next workshop. I hope you had a great time. I know I did. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye!